Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going back to the 991, having previewed the paint job on the 996 in yesterday's video. Today, it's all about the 991. And I'm gonna be continuing my mods with the red themes and the red accents as I swap out my black gauge face for a red gauge face. Let's go check it out. So guys, continuing the red accents in my car. I've been wanting to do this job for a while, and now that I've done it and it's been successful, and I'm now here making a DIY video, I'm absolutely just kicking myself for not doing it sooner. It was so much easier than I thought it was gonna be. I would say it's probably on par with the Sports Chrono gauge face, so if you've done that mod, doing this one is an absolute piece of cake. It's certainly easier than some of the other DIY jobs I've done, like, I don't know, as an example, pulling out the air conditioning in the 997 and replacing those buttons that have been all like scrapped up. It was also a hell of a lot easier than doing the Apple CarPlay hack with the Joy Auto device. So far, this has been a really enjoyable job, and hopefully if you guys are interested in doing it too, this DIY video will help you get through it all. And on that note, I'm gonna be releasing my own line of these center dials in various colors to go with the colors that I did for the Sports Chrono gauge face. So you can already get the Sports Chrono gauge faces in a number of different colors which line up with the Porsche OEM colors. Guards red, Carmine red, Lizard green, white, all of the different colors you'd expect. I'm gonna start doing these as well. People have been asking for this ever since I did the Sports Chrono clock a while ago. So watch out on autoamateur.com. These will be coming out relatively soon. But for now, this video is all about the DIY and getting the job done. Let's go take a look. Why is it all of Porsche's plugs and wiring harnesses are ridiculously hard to get out? Presumably because they don't want them to fall out when you're driving, but oh my God, there's gotta be an easier way. Let's just take a look at what I took out. All right, so first time doing it, little fiddly, I won't lie. Taking out the side trim here, super easy. Just a trim clip there that pops off and it sits into place nicely. I disconnected the wiring harness because I didn't want it dangling. The air vent, a little tricky to pop out. I used a trim tool here and my fingers here and then tried to bring it out uniformly. There is a little bit of a top of a clip here that has come off from somewhere. There's no breakage on it, so presumably it just sort of slots back in somewhere. I'll have to figure that out. Over here, the side trim, again, that was pretty easy to take out. And then once you've removed the front of the instrument cluster, be very careful around this area because it is super flexible and delicate. I took off the trim, pulled it out, again, tried to sort of work my way around. It was sticking here on this side, and you got to pull it out towards you. I was trying to pull it across. 4 T20 screws, they were easy enough to get out, a little tricky, well, they were easy enough to unscrew, a little tricky to get out. You don't want to lose them dropping down the bottom. So I used my trusty little, little grabber, my claw. Then the wiring harnesses. I was only expecting one from my research, but there are two. Here's the one on the right-hand side, which I removed first. This is how it sits in the instrument cluster. I was pushing on the top here, thinking that's the release. No, the release is actually underneath, and you need to press this little piece of plastic down with a really small screwdriver, and then it comes out straight away. This one over here is similar to the wiring harnesses you see connected to the door panels and the back of the wiring harness into the PCM. Essentially, this sits at the top, and you've got to push it down. And as you push it down, the plug is sort of pulled out of the back of the wiring, out of the back of the port, and then you can pull it out. So that's it. Now let's get to business. So here's the instrument cluster. Now I do have the gauge faces for all for all four. We don't put one on the digital, obviously. I'm just going to be changing out the Tach today, the rev counter. I want to see how that looks first, and then maybe go all out. And also, I'm really nervous about taking out the needles. It looks relatively straightforward, but you just never know. So I'm going to try on one and see where we go from there. Now, I need to pull this off, and then there are a number of screws on the back, which I think I only need to take off if I'm going to remove the circuit board. I think actually the front just pries open, but we're going to find out. Okay, let's do a quick recap here. So on the back of the instrument cluster are a load of screws that you need to remove before you can take the front off. I wasn't sure if that was going to be the case, but it is. You'll notice that on the back, I've put 3 pieces of blue tape on 3 of the holes, and that's to remind me where the smaller of the screws go. All the screws are the same size, apart from these 3, which are small. And then once I remove the screws, I move them out of the way so I don't lose any of them. And then I went round trying to remove these very delicate little mounting clips. And what I was finding was, as I was trying to take a couple off at one time and then move to the next, they were clipping back into place. So I let gravity help me out by holding it upside down and going one by one around the outside, just so they were slightly off the mounting position. Occasionally, a background circle, I heard 1 or 2 of them click back into place, so you saw that I had to go around it like twice. But once you go around it slowly, and make sure you're holding it close to your surface and your protective towel so you don't scratch anything, it doesn't drop, but you can feel it release in your hands, and then you just simply pull it apart. And then first off, the top to the reset stalk here, or the dimming stalk, sorry, it just pops off. You just pull it off and it flips back on again. All right, so now onto the gauge faces. Now, as the product suggests when they arrive, there are 4 separate gauge faces. In the earlier boxes and Caymans, the 996, I think as well, and the 997, these are actually connected, I believe. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But at least for the Cayman, I think the 3 that you get in the middle, you don't get 5, you get the 3 gauges. They're connected, so you replace all or nothing. Here, I've got the choice of replacing some or all. And it looks like it's gonna come off relatively easily. The trick now is to take the needles off without damaging them. And in order to do that, I'm gonna use a pry tool, which hopefully is thin enough to go underneath. And then I can just gently apply a little bit of pressure and have it all pop up in one. So we're gonna have a go with the middle, and then we'll see what happens from there. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. You're gonna break something. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be fine. What could possibly go wrong? I'm telling you, if you do it, you're gonna break something, and just like usual, you're gonna screw it up. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. Well guys, that's it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun. Even though the wiring harness was pretty annoying to get out, I think I probably spent in total almost the same amount of time getting everything else done that I did pulling out the pulling out the wiring harness, if you know what I mean. It's been a long day. But it probably took me 20 minutes to figure out how to get that green pin, that green plug out of the back of the instrument cluster. And in 20 minutes it was out and the gauge face was on, and now it's back in. Relatively easy. One thing you might note is when I reversed out, and I'll put it up here again now, you saw that I had a warning light. The car, because I had taken out the instrument cluster, the car seems to have thought that I've replaced the tires. And so it's asking me to go into settings to select if I've done that. And in the PCM, you're able to do that to say whether or not you're running summer tires or winter tires. So I've got to do that, but besides that, no other error message, no other issues whatsoever. Unfortunately, my mileage reading hasn't gone back to 0. It's still at 100 and something thousand miles. But that's good to know. You're not gonna tamper or make any issues with your mileage count. But that's it. Thanks for checking in. More videos coming soon. We're gonna be getting some more work done on Project 996 car this week. It's a relatively quiet week here in the US. It's Thanksgiving on Thursday, so a lot of my clients are winding down. I'm taking a couple of days off, so hoping to spend a lot of time with my family and the boys, but also get in here and have some more fun. So hope you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in another video soon. Take care. Bye.